Welcome to Undressing Intimacy, where we cut through the bullshit
Greggy,
so we can get naked.
you can't say that.
Why not? How would you say it then?
Well, maybe more like, welcome to Undressing Intimacy, where we undress emotionally so we can undress physically.
That's exactly what I said. Not sure what the problem is. Welcome to episode number
61.
61. Here we go, marching to a good number. Can't wait for us to do a few things. One, our community.
Yes, there are some of you that have signed up. Remember, Tuesday, November 25th, we're going to have our first gathering. You can sign up for it on the link to this podcast. You can sign up for it on our website. You can sign up for it on our weekly email. And we hope that you'll join us. We are just trying to create a space where you can gather and realize you're not alone. And there are others like you, a lot of others like you. And you can gain some support and camaraderie. And obviously we'll be teaching, coaching, sharing ideas. And also you too. You bring all those too. Because I find we learn so much from each other.
Yep, we're having a competition. So far, I'm ahead. The boys are winning. So you girls need to
Come on,
kick it up
ladies.
because Amy's getting her butt whooped and she doesn't like it. So we need some
Ladies,
more
let's
girls.
show up.
Got to show up and show out. We're really excited about that. Again, there's no pressure, just an opportunity for us to get together, chat, talk to each other, learn from each other. We find this amazing and we love to do it. So we're very, very excited about it. Also, that very day, we're going to be releasing a podcast with Jennifer Finlayson Fife. We can't wait to have her on the podcast again. We're so grateful for her.
One of our favorite mentors.
Yes, especially this time. She's really, really busy. Released her book. She's been doing a lot of book podcasts and meetings. And so we're grateful that she's going to spend some time with us and we cannot wait. So next week's a big week going to Thanksgiving. Lots to be grateful for. We talked about last week how we had a roller coaster of a week and we got into what a little bit that was. And I really appreciate everyone allowing me to take the podcast time and talk about Clifford a little bit and his backstory. I was afraid that our podcast was going to tank because there was no sexual content in it. Did all right. Had some new friends join me and my horse friends. It was really cool. I got a response back from his OG mom, and she said she was just in tears listening. And we didn't realize that he had been a big part of her life when her boys finishing up horse showing. And that's how she got into showing, was he had Clifford bred. His name was Marty at the time for her, and also helped her get through a divorce. So he's been kind of a special guy from the very beginning. So appreciate us being able to take some time. This week was a big roller coaster too. As I've always said, I continue to F it up big time. So we have lots to talk about. I don't even think we're ready to talk about how I F'd it up this time because it's still kind of raw. So we'll get on to something else. I had to hurry and try to fix my big F up in time for a surprise for Amy. You want to tell everyone what we got to do this weekend?
Yeah, so kind of a funny backstory. When we were dating, I said, no one ever surprises me. I always find out. Well, I think Greg took that on as like a mantra in life. Like,
Yeah,
I am
don't
going
challenge
to,
me.
I'm going to surprise her for the rest of her life.
Yep.
And he has. He surprised me with the ring. He surprised me with, I could just keep going listing forever and ever. He has been one continual surprise after another.
Some good, some bad.
And this past weekend was absolutely one of his most amazing surprises.
Yeah.
It was my birthday this last weekend. It was kind of a big one. And we had these
She was 25
I'm 25. That's right.
twice again.
And we had big plans over the summer to go do this big trip because we were both turning this age, our nifty 50. But our lovely children had other plans and we actually really enjoyed our summer. However, Greggy wanted to surprise me, and I didn't realize that I kept almost messing up the surprise many times. So I didn't realize I was making it really hard for him. Anyhow, I thought I was going to see our daughter and grandbaby and son-in-law, and instead he brought her and all of our kids from all their various jobs and colleges and places home and surprised me.
It was fantastic. I took her out to lunch and she had no idea it was the day before her birthday. We had this beautiful, wonderful lunch. It's been beautiful weather out. We sat on the
Mm-hmm.
patio, had a great
Mm-hmm.
lunch.
Mm-hmm.
We're stepping up and getting to ready to walk away, and there was a little baby sitting at one of the tables. And Amy mentioned, "Hey, I just can't wait. Very soon, and we get to
Less than
see
a
our
week, I
baby. I
said.
can't wait." And I'm like, "Yes, very soon." Because I knew that our grandbaby and daughter were sitting in the house waiting to surprise her. So there's a pretty good video of her walking in and finding all her children there.
It has been the best ever. And we've spent the weekend laughing and playing games and going out and riding horses and just sharing life and laughter, and this grandbaby that is adorable. And I've had my brother and his family and my mom, and just, lots of love from friends. And I am actually overwhelmed in the very best way with just the goodness of life. And so it was a complete surprise again, because I thought we were going there next week, and I never expected that
I had to put a fake itinerary together.
she would come here. I started asking a lot
She
of
wanted the boarding pass and all
where's
that kind
the
of stuff.
record locator? What hotel do we have? What rental car do we have? I started asking all these details, and I was making him squirm. So that's kind of fun that I was making you squirm.
Yeah.
I had no idea, though. Anyways, it's been a very, very, very full weekend. And yeah, just a lot of tender moments with all of my kids and grandbaby, and lots of trips to Target, because that seems to happen every time we have a grandbaby here. We go to Target.
Papa buys whatever she wants. Yeah. Getting old. It's not for the faint of heart. We keep getting it. Can't stop it. And we've got a lot of questions around age and age-related things, especially from our female friends around menopause and what it does to the hormones and how we can combat that a little bit. And I wish I had a silver bullet that I could just feed all my female friends and the hormones would stop going crazy, but I haven't found that yet, or we would probably not even have to do a podcast because we would be very wealthy.
Yes.
We want to talk about some of the things that we've learned along the way, especially Amy's learned along the way as she's dealt with these changes, and maybe hopefully answer some of the questions that have come in asking us about how you go through menopause and still get into intimacy and keep having that drive that may go away when it comes to menopause.
Well, it's not even just menopause. It's menopause, yes. But I mean, I think the only thing that's constant about being a woman is change. I think about the monthly cycle and going through childbearing and then nursing and then recovering from that. And then usually there's perimenopause, and then there's menopause, and then there's postmenopause. And all of them present some unique challenges, and all of them equal constant change. And I wish there were a silver bullet too, because I would have taken it by now. I mean,
we looked for everything.
My goodness, I've had a lot of struggles in this area, a lot of challenges. I've struggled with PCOS, which has presented a lot of difficult challenges. Thyroid, now heading into the menopause, it's a challenge. And so, first of all, I just want to tell all my women friends, yes, this is real. It is real, and it is part of our life, and it's part of the beauty that brings life. As I look at my children, I'm like, oh, they're amazing.
God, I think God messed it up. We need to talk to him about that one. It's teeth and that. And as soon as I get to see him, I'm like, that teeth thing, it didn't do quite a good job on that. Like, babies get them and get grumpy and ruin perfect babies, and then they fall out and you have to get them over again. And I'm like, you messed up teeth and hormones. You might want to try that again. So that's the two things where God and I are going to talk about.
Yes. Yes, indeed. And I think too, because when we go into the sexual intimacy realm and women are like the receivers, right? Talking about entering into her body, that adds another layer of not only vulnerability, but just some challenges. And you're dealing with tissue and the changes in tissue, the cycle of the changes and different things like that. First of all, I just want to say, yes, this is real. It's hard. And it's also, there are supports. I don't know that anything actually fixes everything, but there's definitely a lot of supports available to you. But it can be so tricky. And the thing that I have faced a lot of, and this is what I think is so hard, is sitting in front of doctors or OBGYNs and having them just completely gaslight me or tell me, well, buck it up. You got 15 more years of this. So sorry, and offer zero help. And that can be really disheartening.
I found it one of the things that just shocked me a little bit is we went into a natural food supplement store and we were looking for some things for me and for Amy. And we got more attention from the clerks there about our health, asking us real in-depth questions about how they could help us, and a real like honest earnestness to make us feel better than we
Like
do
an
sitting in front of our
interest.
doctors.
Yeah.
And we're like, this is strange. And I know I'm not trying to dig on doctors, right? They have a tough job and they don't have a silver bullet either. And so they have to do their best at making sure they take care of people in general. But it is definitely frustrating when you're just dismissed about these things, and good luck.
Yeah.
Your blood level looks good, right? Your
Yeah.
blood numbers look good.
And even if it doesn't look
Okay.
good, they can still say good luck.
Or you feel
whether
crappy
it's-
and your blood levels look good and it's still like good luck. So
Yeah.
found it interesting.
That can be so disheartening. That's why I'm just saying, first of all, with you, yes, this is a challenge. And it takes time to just even find a doctor or a naturopath or a practitioner that is actually informed and can actually help you. I think that's one of the hardest things about this whole process is actually finding someone. So my first suggestion is to ask and ask and ask and ask and ask. Ask all your friends, ask groups, ask providers, ask. Really try and find someone who actually is trained in female hormones. And just because they're an OBGYN or an endocrinologist or a doctor doesn't mean they're actually trained in it.
Yep. And in fact, we would love it if you have a good resource. Please put it in the comments for other people to hear, because we have searched all over the place to find these good resources. And sometimes the internet's our worst enemy, trying to figure this out and giving us too much information that gets us down the wrong path. So any good resources from people that we know and care about is the best way about it, for sure.
Yes. A really great perimenopause and menopause resource is Dr. Mary Claire Haver. And I'll put that in the show notes. She has lots of information on her website. She has information about what tests to pull, information about what kind of supplement or vitamin support you might need, information about hormones and what's real. And she's a doctor also. And so she has all the scientific studies to back it up. So she is a great resource that talks about nutrition and wellness and wholeness, and also has the science to support. And so that's my first recommendation. I would definitely recommend her. And she definitely has like different blood tests to ask for. And that's where you have to kind of really be your own advocate, which is what I've learned over and over and over. I have to advocate for my health, and I have to keep asking questions, and I have to keep searching. And it has taken a lot of questions and a lot of doctors and a lot of searching to find help. So please know that you're worth it, and know that, yes, it can be an absolute struggle, but keep asking, because the difference is really having enough well-being to be present. There is no silver magic bullet that will make you love your body or that will make you love sex. A lot of people think, oh yeah, I'm just going to get on testosterone or something and then I'm going to magically have more desire. It's not actually true. So I see hormones get too much credit and they get too little credit. It's kind of a balance of both, right? Yes, you could get on a lot of testosterone, but that doesn't mean you would actually have more desire, because you still have to actually want to engage. You still have to actually like your partner. You still have to actually learn how to be at ease in your body. So there's still a lot of work to do on your own self and your own mind. So hormones are crucial, yes. And there is also still the process and the work of learning to love yourself as you are, learning to support yourself, learning to be at ease in your body, and to learn what you enjoy.
I just remember years and years and years ago, you went to an OBGYN.
Yeah.
And you were talking about sometimes you're having struggles with sexual intercourse, and
Yeah.
that, you needed something to help the stimulation, and you'd heard that there was a cream that you could use to
Yeah.
do it. And she laughed. She's like, I will definitely give you the cream. But let me tell you, the fact that you have to take your finger and you put it on your private genital parts to put the cream on is probably more important than the cream and what it's going to do, right? And that
Yes.
was way before you had discovered yourself or your sexuality or your own
Yeah.
body or how it
Yeah.
worked. And I think thinking about that was she was probably right?
Yeah.
No cream or anything would have replaced the amount of work you put into understanding what is my desire, how does my clitoris work, why do I have it, what does it feels good, what doesn't feel good, and really putting the time into doing that. And you've really, really invested in yourself to decide what is it that I want.
Yeah. And it is an investment. And that part, I want to empower all my females out there to know that you can do that. No matter what size, shape, condition your body is in, I find that all women are hard on their bodies. And learning to be at ease in your body, exactly where you're at, is important work. That's one of the major factors of being able to be present in sexual intimacy. Just learning how to be at ease in yourself.
Yeah. And I think for my male friends here, it's very disheartening to watch your spouse go through this. And I know all the women out there are like, yeah, disheartening. You don't have to go through it. Ah. And I get that, right? We don't understand it. And we have our own problems. We can have episodes about that too. But watching the person you love the most struggle in these areas and not feel good about themselves and not want to engage is really trying. And so, as a male partner, I think you really have to be supportive of your spouse, loving and caring of her in a way that you're not like trying to control or manipulate her in any ways, but really understanding that she is going through the struggle and it's different for her than it is for us. And I think one of the key components that we have learned, there's several, and I might be jumping ahead on you, but I think one of the key components that I've learned is that when we redefined what sexual intercourse was, and it really helped. It changed the game. In fact, when we had Tammy Hill on, she talked about the reason she got into this alternative thought process around sexual intercourse was because she had back problems, right? And she couldn't do the normal sexual intercourse in the same ways. And so she discovered this. And it really has been this process of learning that there's a lot that can be done to enjoy this connection. And it's not just the one way that we've thought of it our whole lives. And I think that's really important in this is as your spouse is learning to love herself and love her body, rethinking the definition of sex and what good sex looks like is really important too.
Absolutely. And also, I meant to say this a little earlier. If there's any pain of any kind in intercourse, please
What does Esther say?
go get
There should only be pain if you want it or something
yeah,
like
there
that.
should not be any pain unless that's what you're choosing.
Yeah.
Yes. So any pain there, please, there's so much help for pain during intercourse, whether that is going to pelvic floor therapy or whether it's menopausal dryness and you need an estrogen cream, or there's just a lot of different things, or whether it's tightness and you need some help with dilation. There's so much support in that area. So please.
Yes. Pelvic floor therapist was godsend. We had her on not too long ago.
Yes.
She really, really, really helped you through these trials in this area.
Yeah. Any troubles with incontinence of any kind, anything, please. Because that will inhibit you from being fully present if you're worried and concerned and nervous. We're talking about being ease in your body. That's definitely something that would pull you out of ease, or that could pull you from being able to be at ease in your own body. And so, again, it's not that you're broken or that there's anything wrong with you. It's just really helping support all that our body's trying to do. And we ask a lot of it.
Right.
So let's be kind to our bodies and try and support them and help them be comfortable even in intimate settings.
Yeah, about the same time that I think you went to the pelvic floor therapist, you really got to meet a really cool friend of yours that did a lot of exercise and stretching therapy. And she really put you on the path of taking control of your body and as a whole. And you're probably in the best shape you've ever been in your whole entire life.
She really helped me learn how to strength train. Like I
Yeah.
thought I knew how to do it, and I went to the gym and I technically lifted weights, so I was in contact with weights all the time and took weight classes and different things, but she really taught me how to really strength train and isolate, and yeah, she was just amazing.
In fact, there was moments when the regular doctors looked at you and you're still having sex and orgasms, and they were
Yeah.
shocked. And
Yeah.
I think it really was the mental and physical work that you'd put into your own body to be able to get this out. That people were like, this shouldn't be happening, and it was.
Yes. And I think one of the things that kept me from getting help was when I knew I often got gaslit, right? And I would be made to feel small or it wasn't a legitimate struggle, and that maybe I wasn't worthy, that maybe I just needed to buck it up and be tougher and work harder. And that's why I want to bring this up, because I don't think it's about bucking it up and just being tougher and more endurance. It's go get the support your body needs. Be kind to it. Be kind to you. Help it out. And yes, some of the people you go to may not be the help that you need. And you may have to keep looking for a while, but keep looking, because there are actually a lot more practitioners now that are learning and getting informed. Unfortunately, like OBGYN, I think they get 1 hour of training on female hormones, which is just sad, or an hour like on menopause. But that's starting to shift and change, and there's a lot more education around the female life cycle, right? And all the different stages and changes that female bodies go through. And so there are more holistic, more interns, more practitioners, more OBGYNs, more places that are becoming informed pelvic floor therapists that are getting better help, better support, better understanding of how to bring the support to women, how to keep them healthy long term. And so please go try. And it may be hard and it may be bumpy, but it's worth it.
I mean, our good friend, I guess we never met him, so he's not a good friend, but he has a great book and we love his teachings and it's really foundational for us, was Dr. Snarch, David Snarch. He talks about how in his studies, the greatest years that couples enjoy their sex is later on in their 60s. And you're like, okay, well, obviously we've gone through the menopause thing by then, right? Usually.
Right. And it's not about genitalia health.
Yeah. And it's not
right?
about hormones being perfectly in place and bodies being perfectly fit and attuned. This is when things start sagging and doing all that kind of stuff.
Maybe response isn't how you expect it to be.
And the reason behind it he talked about was, again, is because that's when couples get all the other things out of the way. Maybe the kids have left the house and jobs have quieted down a little bit. They get to spend time with each other. And that's when they start connecting and becoming truly intimate with each other, opening up and enjoying each other.
And part of that intimacy is actually really being honest too about maybe what parts of their body are working or aren't working, or are comfortable or uncomfortable, or, you know, where their mind and heart are at.
I know every guy has had this happen to him probably, where you go to do something for your wife and she's, oh, that hurts. Like, you were begging me to do that yesterday. Right? You're like, what is going on? So it's the day-to-day changing and being willing to like, okay, let's try something else. Let's do something else. I think is really important.
Yeah, that flexibility is super important, because it's not like we're choosing these changes. And I think that's what sometimes feels so disempowering. It's not like I want things to change. It's not like I'm like, oh, let's take Greggy on a wild ride and see like whack-a-mole, what's different today. It's difficult. And so sometimes we are really stepping into the dark, we meaning women, trying to find where we're at in that moment in space.
Absolutely. And that goes back, like we talked about a couple weeks ago, about the foundational things, as we had gone over some of those finer points of consuming your partner and things. We talked about you have to have the foundation to be there. You have to be able to have that connection, that honesty, the openness, being willing to be vulnerable, being willing to be exposed so that you can connect. I think the same is here, right? Those foundational things are so important, and they'll probably become even more important as you go through the changes of the body and you go through menopause and age. And, you know, us men, we don't go through menopause, but we change and erections aren't the same as they used to be when they were young. And I wish that we had figured it out when we were young so we could take advantage of those. But
we didn't have the intimate
we
depth
didn't,
then.
we hadn't figured it out yet. So it's all those things, but the foundation again is so important. Being willing to be vulnerable and connect on an emotional level and being intimate in other ways so that you can be safe in a place to be intimate physically.
Mhm. And it doesn't matter what age you're at. I'm finding couples 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, even couples in their 70s are learning how to really open up that definition of sexual intimacy and finding, oh, there's so much enjoyment here when we broaden that definition, when we make room for whatever is, right?
And never too late. I mean, some of your greatest success stories and clients have been in their 60s and
Yeah.
70s. And
Yeah.
to watch these beautiful people that have struggled all these years come to life and figure it out and enjoy each other in an intimate, sexual, intimate manner, it's just been very, very fun.
I think, especially as we get older, what it becomes to me more and more is a space where I leave the worries, the tasks, the to-dos, the responsibilities, all outside the bedroom, right? This becomes a place where we move into presence, move into a connection and an intimacy with each other. And that can be so many different things, but it really is about leaving all the other stuff behind and just being present in that moment.
Yeah.
And that is such a relief in so many ways to have a space to leave everything else behind.
Yeah. And so if we're on the male side, putting those extra expectations, or we have the thought of how it should look, or we're thinking about how it was when we were 20 years ago, one of my favorite clients always goes, but it was so much fun 10 years ago. I want to be like that. And I'm like, you're not there, right? That's in the past. So what does the future look like?
What does the now look
What does
like?
the now look like, more importantly? And being present yourself. You know, Amy talks a lot about her being present in her body, to be open and willing to be able to receive this. I have definitely found, especially in the last 6 months, been on a crusade, find ways to get myself to be present. And I've found the greatest pleasure and joy of comes to me when I'm in that present moment, because I haven't set those expectations that are unspoken to myself or to Amy, but I'm just there just to enjoy what is.
Whatever that is.
And it allows for so much more than what we allow for when we get into our minds to make these things up. It just allows for so much more openness and honesty, but literally having fun and enjoying sex.
At different times, in different spaces, sometimes we need rest, sometimes we need play, sometimes we need freedom, sometimes we need just really intimate connecting. That just becomes this space where we leave everything else behind and are open to however that may be.
I've coached so many men and I know exactly where they're at because I was in this place before. And so I don't know how to get men to not drop into this mindset. I only have helped men actually come out of this mindset. I apologize if I can't help you go there, but hopefully I can help you get out of there a little bit. And it's this feeling that you're having to give something up, that you're giving in, that, and we use all kinds of heroic things. I go to work and I make money and I support the family and I take care of them. And the one thing I just ask is my wife has good sex with me. And if we think that it's not going to work out exactly how we've made it up in our head, we set this expectation and it's just impossible to meet. But yet if we back down from that expectation, we feel like we're giving in and giving up on something. And I've tried to just help so many, and I've watched all my clients have finally gotten to this part. And it's almost as our wives go into the bedroom and can give and can surrender, can give. When our wives go in the bedroom and can surrender, that's when they have the greatest sex, when they can be consumed because they're surrendered there. Because we're surrendering to, by the way, let's remember that. There's some sense of a surrender that I've found all my male partners have to give into, of this fantasy of what they think their sex life should look like or should be like. I've talked about it before, the client that talked about, I have a Ferrari I don't know why my wife wants to still drive the minivan. Like, she wants to be in the minivan. And she keeps on saying no to my Ferrari, and it would be so much fun. And we could go so much faster and it would be thrilling. And to watch him go through that process to where he finally is like, I think minivans are being just fine for me. I am gonna enjoy this minivan. And I think
I
they're
think
like in a
it's-
Mazda RX-7 now. They may not be in the Ferrari, but their sex life is definitely not stuck in the minivan phase.
Well, I feel like there's a difference between settling and surrendering. And surrendering,
Yeah. Talk about that, because when I use the word surrender, sometimes they get mad at me.
surrendering is a strength. This isn't a weak surrender. This isn't giving up. This is like surrender is recognizing, oh, what I have is actually really good.
Right.
And let me actually enjoy what I have instead of being critical and making it not enough and putting expectations around it. And when they're in that frame, it's like, oh, well, I am settling because I have this other expectation.
Right.
And so I feel like the settling is more dealing with an unfair expectation, but a surrender is actually an act of strength and courage. And it's also what women need to learn how to do, right? It's not giving up. It's actually like this act of faith and courage that says,
I'm going to enjoy the moment.
I'm going to, surrender all of my fears and vulnerabilities and trust and be present in this moment instead of putting all of these conditions and terms and things around it. And that's a good surrender.
Yeah. No, I like when you say that, because oftentimes, especially as males, we feel like we have to be tough and take care of the family and support them and protect them. And so surrendering doesn't want to come anywhere near our vocabulary, right? And so we try to avoid it at all cost because we're tough men and we can't do that. And I love how you say it, right? It's not stepping into a weakness or giving up. In fact, it's probably the biggest sign of strength that you could ever do.
It's more like savoring what you actually have and
Enjoying the
enjoy
meal
it.
you're taking care of right in the moment.
Instead of dismissing it. And I find that when you enjoy what you already have, you start to create more enjoyment.
And going back to what we've started with, if you're in that mindset and you have worked on that, when these curveballs come, when one day the thing that was full of pleasure becomes full of pain, it allows you to go with what does find pleasure at the time instead of stopping, pouting, being upset, thinking that she doesn't love you or choose you because it doesn't look like you. It allows you to discover together like what feels good and what's going to be fun and enjoyable at that time.
So I remember Eros and passion have to have freedom and flexibility. And I feel like that's the female life, right? Like
Female is a
constantly-
symbol of Eros, right?
Yes, constantly having to be adjusting and being flexible and to all of the different changes that are happening literally all the time. Where I feel like in this area, men's hormones tend to be more consistent, more predictable. Again, I'm not trying to throw any shade on my men folk, but I feel like women's, you look at them every day of a 30-day cycle while they're cycling, and it's different every day. And then in perimenopause, who even knows? In menopause, it's a whole nother set of conditions. And so just recognizing that flexibility and compassion are really crucial. I just see women like destroying themselves or attacking themselves or criticizing themselves because they should be this and they should be that. And I mean, definitely get support for what you need support, but then also let's be kind. Let's recognize that you have some that's in your control, right? Maybe some is related to some lifestyle choices, but a lot of it is out of your control.
Yeah. I think the most unsexy thing a woman can do is to belittle herself or not be kind to herself. It's infuriating on the men's side, right? Here's a person you care about and love the most, who you see as amazing and beautiful and all of your desires. And here she's picking on herself and she's digging on herself. And I've told Amy so many times, I wish I could pluck my eyeballs out and throw them in your head. That could hurt, but if I would do it, if I could do it for just a minute, and then you could open your eyes and you could see yourself. If you could see yourself the way I see you, you would be astonished. And it's not making it up and it's not faking it. Because as you grow to love this person and you want to be with her and consume her, like it doesn't really matter the exact shape she is. And there's nothing more sexy from a woman than when she loves herself and she feels sexy. And that's very rare and it takes a lot of work. And when she has that, like I know you want to consume me because look at this. Like who's an idiot that wouldn't want to consume me? When those moments with Amy, it's like mind blowing and it's just exceptional. And I think that's a little bit of what the guys are trying to grab at when we say, hey, we want our wives to initiate.
They want that.
I want her to be in charge or do things because it feels like they're choosing us when they do it. But it also is extremely sexy, like extremely sexy.
Mm-hmm.
When you can see the sexy parts about yourself and you love them too. When Amy started looking at her and saying, I am sexy. I am very attractive. And not trying to lie to herself. It didn't come overnight. It didn't come one day. I'm like, I'm a flabby, ugly person. And the second day she's like, I'm the sexiest sex god of the world. It took her moving in some neutrality, like just saying, I have a body.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm grateful that I have that body. And I'm grateful that it can do these things.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of work getting over the fact that she may not look exactly like the model on the screen or how everyone else has told her she'd look, and mostly how other women think that she should look too.
Yeah.
And it took a lot of work to get there. So we talk about all the things that make a man sexy. I'll tell you, women, the sexiest thing that you could ever do is to appreciate your own body. It's sexy as hell.
Thanks, babe.
Yep.
And I think that is work that regardless of where your hormones are at, obviously support them in any way you can. But it's still a lot of that soul work, right? Learning to appreciate the body, the container that holds your life, that holds your mind and your heart and your soul and allows you to experience life in whatever state and condition it's at in that day, which can be difficult through illnesses and injuries and hormone fluctuations and all the different things that we experience in life. And yet it is still possible.
It makes me think back a little bit when I was coaching questions with disabilities, when I was doing the horse coaching, the horseback riding coaching with those with disabilities. Some of the happiest people I've ever met were those people that were severely disabled. And they were in wheelchairs. They couldn't even walk. But they chose to have life and love and share that with other people and enjoy every moment. And being on the back of a horse was just thrilling for them. Mm-hmm. And so watch them say, if they can be in this place and find peace and happiness and joy, what am I whining about? Mm-hmm. Like, really, what am I whining about? And really knowing that to love the moment you're in and to enjoy it, because that moment's going to be gone the next moment and you'll never get that moment back. And so just thoroughly enjoy what you have.
I think that's learning to find joy in life, right? Learning to appreciate whatever it is you have. And yes, we all have challenges, and yes, we have them too. I definitely have them. You definitely have them. We're not saying that it's all rainbows and daisies over here. We definitely face our challenges, and yet there is still so much joy.
Yep.
And I think that's the gift you really gave me this weekend was joy. I
brought a lot of pain before that.
You brought the joy.
I brought down the pain. And I'm like, oh, I better bring the joy.
Having all my kiddos and grandbaby.
Yeah, that's what life's about. Watching my kids interact with each other has got to be the greatest thing in the whole entire world. And that grandbaby's pretty good too.
She's so cute. And her little giggles.
Oh, fall asleep in my arms.
And you know what? It's those simple joys, though, that we can appreciate in each other. The giggles, the laughter, the connection, the eye gazes, the touches. They're just as meaningful as the big fancy moments. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's so much beauty in just the daily mosaic prosaic life.
Yep. Just remember life is ups and downs, right? Hills and valleys. You're going to be on the peak one day and you're going to be in the bottom of the valley the next day. That's the way it is, the 50-50 life, and enjoying each of those moments and being able to lift yourself out of those pits and be together as a couple is going to be important, and enjoying the highs that you ride is going to be important too.
Absolutely. I think too, one of the most powerful emotions for sexual intimacy is gratitude. And whether that's gratitude that you get to be in that moment, gratitude that you get to share that with your spouse, gratitude to be in your body, gratitude that you have someone to, just gratitude for who they are, for who you are, for the life you're building or have built or creating together. Like, that is just one of the most powerful emotions.
Very true. When we're always wanting the next thing or the better thing or the next adventure, there's a lack of gratitude in that at times. And I'm not saying we can't desire those things. They're all good. But as long as we're foundationally placed in a place of gratitude and appreciating what we have.
Absolutely.
I think that goes back to that surrender. I think that's what that surrender really is.
It's gratitude.
Saying, hey, I am so grateful for what I have.
Yeah.
And I will live the rest of my life just like this and be happy about it.
It almost seems like when you're actually really in gratitude, that's what starts to open things up. And when you're like, I need more, I have to have more, I want more, that it actually sort of like shuts things down.
Right. Yep. Like I say, get the hell out of your own way. Let's be a little grateful. All right. We're grateful that you spent some time with us. Hopefully this could answer some of those questions around what we do. We struggle a little bit with our hormones and health and menopause and all the things that happen when we age. You have great things ahead of you. We can tell you it's not easy. We've struggled with these things, but there's ways to enjoy sexual relationships and intimacy as you get older and have these changes. And so we would love to help you in any way. Come sign up for a consult. All my good women friends, Amy's been through this. She's done it. She still struggles with these things. And so she loves spending time with you and sharing those things with you. And I'm sure that she's learned tons from all of her clients too that helped her. And so we would love to have you sign up for a consult and join us on langfordlifecoaching.com.
I just want to say, don't give up hope. Keep trying, keep believing, keep looking. There are ways to support yourself and love yourself and work through whatever conditions you're working through. So hang in there.
Like and subscribe to our podcast. It helps us. And go boys, keep signing up for that community.
No,
We're
ladies,
kicking
come
those
on.
Women's
Show
butts.
up. Show up, ladies.
They're not showing up. We'll do it. All right. Until next time.
Keep undressing your intimacy.
Bye-bye.